All right, if you're a pig farmer, you know there's one cost that just towers over everything else, your feed bill. So today, we're going to break down exactly how you can get that massive cost under control and turn what feels like a huge expense into a real opportunity for profit.
I mean, just look at that number. Let it sink in. Up to 3/4 of your total production cost is just feed. It's a staggering figure, right? And it's the single biggest lever you can pull to either make or break your farm's profitability.
So, managing this cost isn't just a nice idea, it's absolutely essential for survival. What we're going to do here is break down a really practical framework to get that number down, all without ever compromising the health and growth of your pigs.
It really all comes down to this one question. So let's stop talking about the problem and start diving into the solutions. We're going to break this all down into 3 simple, actionable pillars: smart feeding, smart farming, and smart sourcing.
Okay, first up, pillar number 1, smart feeding. This is all about what you feed your pigs and, maybe even more importantly, when you feed it to them. It's all about being precise and efficient. And this right here is the heart of it all, phase feeding. Think about it. A little piglet needs that expensive, high-protein feed to build its foundation, right? But a big finisher pig, it doesn't need all that pricey protein. It needs energy for fattening. So by simply matching the feed to the growth stage, you stop wasting money on nutrients the pigs don't even need anymore. It's precision nutrition, and it directly impacts your bottom line.
And that brings me to a really crucial point. Just relying on commercial feed, well, it can get incredibly expensive. The real game changer for your budget might actually be sitting right there in your local area.
So, let's look at some of these alternatives. Now, each one has its pros and cons. Cassava is a fantastic, cheap source of energy, but you've got to add protein. Bruised grain is just packed with protein, but man, it spoils fast. The whole goal here is to create what's called a least cost ration, which is just a fancy way of saying a balanced diet using the most affordable, local ingredients you can find, instead of just buying expensive commercial feed off the shelf. Okay, so we've covered what you're feeding your pigs. Pillar 2 is all about how you manage the farm itself. Because let's be real, even the most perfect feed recipe in the world is totally useless if it just ends up wasted on the floor.
This number is just painful to look at. Up to 30% of your feed, that's nearly a third of your single biggest cost, can be completely wasted. It's spilled, it's spoiled, it's scattered. That isn't just waste, it's literally pure profit just scattered on the ground.
So how do we stop the bleeding? Well, it's all about simple, smart management. Getting modern, adjustable feeders helps cut down on spillage. Switching to controlled meal times gives you more oversight. And of course, having proper rodent-proof storage is just non-negotiable. Each of these changes might seem small on its own, but trust me, together they add up to some really significant savings.
And to really know if all your changes are working, you've got to track this metric, the feed conversion ratio, or FCR. It's actually pretty simple. How many kilograms of feed does it take to get 1 kilogram of weight gain? This number right here is the ultimate report card for your farm's efficiency.
And here are the targets you should be aiming for. Imagine 2 farmers. Farmer A's finishers have an FCR of 3.8. Farmer B's are at 3.2. Now, for every 100 kilos of weight gain, Farmer A is paying for 60 extra kilos of feed they didn't need to. You want to be Farmer B. If your numbers are consistently higher than these, it's a huge red flag that your strategy needs a serious second look.
All right, finally, we get to pillar number 3, smart sourcing. This is where we start thinking outside the box and playing the long game to really take control of your feed supply chain.
So, we talked about alternative energy sources, like cassava, but protein is often the most expensive part of the whole mix. And there's one really powerful and sustainable protein source that's seriously starting to gain traction in the industry.
And here it is, black soldier fly larvae. We're talking 40 to 50% protein. These things are a nutritional powerhouse, especially for your young pigs. And the best part? You can grow them right on your own farm, turning organic waste into high-quality protein. It's a perfect closed-loop system that can slash your reliance on expensive soybean meal.
And beyond that, there are other big-picture strategies. Growing your own crops like maize or cassava, that gives you direct control. Forming a cooperative with other local farmers, that lets you buy ingredients in bulk at a major discount. And investing in your own grinders and mixers, that lets you create custom feeds that are perfectly tailored to your herd and, more importantly, your budget.
Okay, wow, we have covered a lot of ground. So let's pull all of this together into a simple, actionable checklist you can use to start making real changes on your farm like today.
Here's your starting point. And please, don't try to do everything at once. That's a recipe for burnout. Just pick one or two of these to focus on. Maybe this week you just start tracking your FCR, or maybe you make one phone call about joining a local farmers co-op. Small, consistent steps, that's what leads to big savings over time.
The path to lower feed costs isn't one size fits all. It's really about finding what works for your operation, your resources, and your unique challenges. So I'll leave you with this to think about. Looking at everything we've talked about, which one of these strategies is going to be the biggest game changer for your farm?